Yeah. Mic check. Uh. Hello? Is this thing on? Slow this music. Ciabatta boy. Stop getting cranky out there. Hello! Good to see you there. Let me patch in here. Hello! Hello! Hello, everybody. I'm glad you joined the chat. Yes, next level. Good man. Yes. Mark, good to see you. Twin Light, yes. Let's bring this in. Yes, and welcome to the Hack Chef program. Quarantine edition. My mic still on? Good. Music still going? Good. Like I wrote down what we're doing again. This is very professional. Very professional here. We have Roman apple cake on tap. We gotta do that first, because that's probably gonna take the longest. We have meatballs. Classic beef, Italian-American meatballs. All the beef, all the onion, all the cheese. What else? Ricotta Gnudi. I have a lot of ricotta. And we need to use the ricotta and make the Gnudis. I've never made Gnudis before. I've read about them. We'll talk about them. And we'll see what happens with them. First time for everything. But I'll share with you what I read. How exciting. And then, what did we say? The torta de mele. The meatball. The Gnudis. I have some beets that I previously roasted. We're going to make a beet carpaccio salad. And then I'm going to make Cacio and Pepe pasta for dinner for me. Because I'm hungry. So let's get this goddamn cake started. And then we could do the meatballs. And then everything else should come together pretty quickly after that. Fast forward 4 hours, we're still here. Thank you everybody for joining. I'm going to apron up right now like a true professional. Because we're dealing with flour. And let's be honest, I'm a mess. All right. So I scribbled down, I put together a sort of, first things first, let's get a beverage. Let's have a nice maroon Cabernet Sauvignon. Nice big old gluggy glug. Let's toast everybody, then we can get this party started. Apron, serious business, apron. I got flour, I'm gonna be a mess, we're gonna put the apron on. In fact, I could already tell I don't like having it on, so we're actually gonna put the apron over here. It's actually very uncomfortable. We'll get to it when we become a mess. Cheers to everybody. There we go. Hopefully you're all drinking. And let's dial in the program. So, Roman apple, Tuscan apple cake. That's where we're starting. The first pain in the ass will be to peel a bunch of apples, and then we will use the food processor to shred them down. This is essentially going to be, it is a big red. It's a big fucking red. It's a maroon Napa Valley 2014 Cabernet Sauvignon. It's, oh, wait, look at this. What are we doing? Ah, now everything's much better. Oh, Cabernet Sauvignon. It's a big red. It does require a steak. I did open it last night and enjoy it with a steak, so that made sense. Thank you everybody for joining who's here. Make sure you subscribe, you like, you do all those things, but make sure you actually like it first. I should have dialed this in, right? I got this. I didn't even line up this camera. Rushed. Rushed program. Let's dial this in here a little bit. Come on, this is professional, guys. Get your shit together. What are you doing? Eh, something like that. Sure. So, Roman apple cake. Torta de mele. It's essentially going to be like a German butter cake with a little less butter and a whole lot more apples. We're going to peel these apples. I'm going to shred some of them in the food processor. And then we're going to slice some of them in the food processor. So shredded and diced, both. And then we're going to put the shreddy ones in with the batter. And then we're going to put the sliced ones on top in a nice little design. I got the oven on 350. If I was a professional, I would have like a recipe on the screen for you. We'll have to get the production staff to work on that. But first things first, let's peel these bitches. Real exciting stuff. Thanks for joining everyone who's here. If you have any questions, feel free to ask in the chat. I'd say call the hotline, but I'm not really sure if that would work up here the way I have it set up now. But if you want to try calling the hotline, you can. But no promises it rings or I answer. Sorry. How's the volume? Good? I think it's good. So these apples are going to get, they're going to go brown pretty quick. Where's my scrapey boy? So I wish I had some acidulated water to put them in. I'm sure I do somewhere. Watch out for that. Let's take some lemon, a little squeeze of lemon into some water. Makes you some acidulated water, which will stop your apples from browning, which will be excellent. So we're gonna put these through the processor. I can't talk today. Jesus. That's what happens when you play video games all night. You don't sleep. And you're quarantined. And all you do is consume. Just throw the chunks in the acidulated water. Get out a bowl to put all your scraps for the chickens in. So we're probably gonna use. I checked a few different recipes. I checked some like Nona's recipes. I checked some like Serious Eats recipes. And I kind of combined what I liked about a few of them. And that's what we're gonna do. So this is gonna be super apple heavy. Lots of apples, different textures of apples inside. It's gonna be fantastic. And then butter, and then we'll get this in the oven. This will probably take like an hour in the oven. I don't bake a lot, but I'm gonna go ahead and say like an hour. I'm not a baker boy, but I got a lot of apples. So, you know what they say when they give you apples, make apple cake. That's what they say, right? Okay. I'm gonna shut up. Stop talking for a moment. Listen to the smooth sounds of free use radio. Yes. Alrighty. So again, we're probably going to use 5-6 apples, I say. I think most recipes call for 3, but we're going hard in the paint. We're using only, I want this to be extra appley. Most of the recipes also called for normal flour, which I have, but I also happen to have some cake flour, which I never used for a cake project that I thought I was going to do. So we're going to use cake flour. The only difference between cake flour and normal flour is that cake flour has maybe 4 or 5% less protein, which means it's generally going to be a softer bake, and it's going to not rise as much, which is, in baking, you know, sometimes what you want for a cake. Like imagine like a layer cake, you know, you don't want to put a layer cake in a pan and have it rise like a bread of sorts. So that's the difference in cake flour. If you're curious, you're welcome. That one was free. How many apples we got here? 4? Let's do one more. Might have 3, 4. Oh, I got 4s right here. 1, 2, 3, 4. One more apple. Pick a good one. Let's get this guy. Let's get this thing out of here. Big mess over here today. I'm really slacking today. Not really a great organization day. I feel like I have more lighting. I gotta figure out the lighting situation. This looks good and well lit. If you can see, I have the KitchenAid over here because we're going to be banging out the KitchenAid for the cake. So I figured, since we're not using the stove out the gate, let's just throw that bitch over there so you can see it, instead of me standing over here in the corner doing that. Because you're going to see, let's see if I remember. The butter and flour go in the pan, and then we have to cream the sugar and the eggs together. Which, I'm no expert, but that's a process, and I'll show you what it looks like on my side. I'm sure you've heard that term. Alright, that's 5 apples. It's a lot of goddamn apples. Okay? So, I want to shred, like I said. Oh, yeah, give me some of that. That's delightful. I want to shred some of these. Maybe like half to mix in with the cake. And then I want a couple nice, really thin slices to go. Mic volume up a bit. We could do that. Maybe, hold on, let me gain it up. Usually I do it like that. Is that better? That's a little bump. Is that better? I've cranked the gain up just a hair. I feel like I lowered it last time for unrelated reasons. Let me know if that sounds better. So let's go with the shreds first. So we're gonna put the shred disc in our food processor. Nice. Thank you, sir. Thank you for your Rex. Shred disc. In. So like I said, we're gonna take about half the apples. We're gonna shred them, and then we got a bowl or something. This will be good. And then once we get the apples ready, we'll go in with the sugar, eggs. I gotta get the sugar out. I think I took, yeah, sugar's right here. Sugar. I got some eggs floating around over there. I gotta grab. Did I make it through here? Nope. Don't worry, I got the eggs. Got them. All right. Beautiful. Shreddy shred, slicey slice. Let's get it going. So, you know, I kind of crudely cut these up. So let's keep the bigger pieces, you know, the pieces that look like they're going to be better for the slices. Because like I'm visualizing like I want that slice, you know, that's kind of what I want to be on top of the cake. We're going to be using this, was it 9-inch, 8-inch? 9-inch cake pan, springform. So, you know, the batter's going to go in here. This will be the bottom. We're not, like, inverting it or anything. Hack chef, hack chef, hack chef. This will be the bottom. It's going to rise up, and then we're going to put, like, ribbons of thinly sliced apple on top. And then we'll hit that. If we're giving it an American vibe, we'd put a bunch of allspice and cinnamon and nutmeg on it. But we're going Italiano, so we're just going to put a bunch of butter and sugar on it. Because they don't go too hard in the paint on the spices. So, like I said, this is the, you know, I'm thinking like small, very thin slices of that shape and nature. So I'm picking out the pieces that I cut that are kind of already lined up like that. That'll work well. And that should, you know, roughly be half-ish, I'm guessing. And then these, we're just going to take, and we're going to shred. Just throw them on in, shred them all down. Hit it. Ah, yeah. Power tools. Alright, let's see what that looks like. Chunks in there, chunks of apple are okay in there too. A lot of the recipes I read, you know, had people just putting in big chunks of apple, which I think you could do and it'd probably be delicious. But I think like doing a shred like this, when you got the food processor and you have the means to do it, just why not? I think these shreds are gonna fall apart in the cake nicer, if you could see that. I think that's gonna make a nice, a nicer texture. Nice. So now we use the shreddy shred, disky disc. Now we'll use, this is a fanciful shred disc. It actually has like numbers on it, so you could adjust it. I've never seen this before. This was a gift to me, so this is the first time I'm using the shred disc. I don't want it to be too small. I don't want it to be too thin, but I definitely want it to be like ribbony. I don't even know what that is. It's a 3. Let's go with like let's see what a 2.5 gets us. I want these to be like really thin. Again, like I'm thinking about what I want the end result to look like. So let's put one tester in there the way I want it. Let's see if it comes out. Little trial and error here on the size. See what it looks like. Not bad. Probably, like, I want it a little bit more like this thickness. Like, that's what I'm thinking. You could get away with huge chunks, I'm sure, like that. So I'm gonna go with it just like one notch smaller, and then we're gonna blast all these through. I think that'll be good. So stick it on 2. If you're playing along at home, that's a 2 setting on your Cuisinart. And then let's just load this up. I'm putting these in like the right. I'm not just haphazardly putting these in, because again, I want the shape to be the same way, because this is gonna be the only cosmetic side really that you see of the pie cake. Obviously, for the shreds, you could just go balls deep on it, not really worry about it. But for this, you want to line it up as nicely as possible. Alrighty. Apple shards. We can put these in the acidulated water again. Alright, these look good. That looks nice. And now we're gonna rinse out the food processor because processor. Why can't I talk today? What the hell is wrong with me? Processor. The food processor. Processor. Jesus Christ. I'm just gonna rinse all the apple off of the food processor. Worcestershire. I'm gonna rinse this off because we're going to use it for the meatball. So we don't need the discs, but we do need we'll use the process. Since it's already out, we're gonna use it for our meatballs. So these look good. We'll just keep those in the water. These shreds look great. We're gonna throw those in with the batter. So now we're gonna kick off the party with what do we gotta do? Cream the eggs, cream the sugar. I don't know what you call that, but we're gonna do the creaming process. So hopefully you can see in here. Nice. We should get a mixer, a whisk on there. Let's get a whisk out. Get a paddle out. Let's get our whisk attachment. Make sure she works. Real nice. Okay. Like I said, I don't bake a lot. I'm no expert baker by any means. Okay. So if this is a shit show and you have a suggestion on how to make this better, I'm open to it. Okay. I'm not a baker, but I am someone who has a lot of apples, and I'm ready to move the apples and turn them into cake. Okay. So we're going for it. Again, we're gonna top it with that. We're gonna use this. So let's get everything lined up so we can just go to work. To make sure that wine's coming along very nicely. Due eggs. You always want your eggs to be as fresh as possible. I have chickens in my yard and they leave me eggs. But if you don't have chickens in your yard, store-bought is fine. 2/3 cup sugar. I got my little container of sugar here. Usually, on most recipes, if I'm baking or doing anything sweet, I pull back on the sugar. I always feel like it's too much, but this recipe, like I said, I kind of pieced this together from a couple different places, and I felt like this was seemed pretty legit Italiano, so I thought the low amount of sugar made sense, so I stuck with it. It looks like there's music killed. Let's put on the pretzel music again. Let's see how this is. Expert baker. Ambient, epic, hip-hop, happy. Let's do happy, where it's happy music. I can't promise this is good, but it says it's happy. That's not happy, and it's also not playing. All right, great. We'll just do it over here. We're gonna have to fix the music, but we gotta get the cake going. We ain't got time. I'm trying to eat here. What did I say? 2/3 cup? 2/3 cup. This is 1/3. There's a half, actually. So let's just fill this up. Usually I go by weight. I don't think I took the weight down. I did. 150. Good. I hate cups. Cups are for idiots. Weigh like a man. I don't really even know what that means, but we're going to go with it. All right. Turn that on. 150 gram sugar in bowl. Make sure you turn the grams. 134. Yeah, don't let shit lean on anything. 152. 151. Hey, thank you for the follow. Dot 17. You like my Roman numeral knowledge? I'm pretty good at that. They used to call me the Roman numeral key. Appreciate your follow. Where are you from? Whoever's there. So, I hope I'm doing this right. 2/3 cup sugar. Due egg. Due ovo. Is it ovo? Ovo's Italian for egg, right? That's the one. That's a two. Number one got a little bit of shell in there. You don't want that. Get that out of there. All right. So now we got to cream this. So what does that mean? It means you whip it good with the whisk till it makes a nice, like, this isn't really the most stable thing. So if this starts getting wonky, we're going to have to pull it off. But I thought this would be good, as long as you could see it. Let's see. Keep it together, team. So you kind of just whip it until it becomes creamed, you know. When it's creamed, it's ready. But let's get the rest going. See, look how quick that browns. It's already starting to brown, these apples. And then we're going to add the flour, the milk, the baking powder, the baking soda, and the lemon zest. Once it's creamed. And then that's going to essentially be our batter. Mix in the apple. Put that shit in the pan, the pot, the pan, the pot, the pan, the pot. We're good. So I think I have, yep. We're going to spray that down. We're going to flour that when that gets ready. We're going to add the shreddy shred to the batter once we get the batter in. It's going to be real nice. So we might need to get a little bit more action on there. Crank it up to 10, yeah! Crank it up, baby! I think part of the, put on 4. Part of the creaming process is you want to see it lighten in color. That I do remember. You want to see it, you know, drop down a little bit. But let's get everything else ready that we need. We need a half cup of milk. Since I'm making meatballs, I also need some milk for the meatballs. So let's see how much milk we actually have. How much do I need for my meatballs? Cup. And then what else was I making? Ketchup, pepperoni, milk. This is fine. I can use all milk. I was gonna water it down with this crappy almond milk I have, but we don't need to do that. We don't need to do that. Does this look creamed? That looks nice. Like the color, can you see the color lightened up? Yeah, you can. Hey, it works. Half cup milk. This is gonna be for the meatballs, so we can just save that. That's fine. There's a half cup in here at least, so we'll pour that in when we need it. The flour, let's get ready. 200 grams of, I said we're gonna use the cake flour. This is the sub that I pulled out. Most places said use normal flour. Like I said, this has got a little bit lower protein. You should expect a little bit of a fluffier cake and a little lower rise, which is good. So we need 200 grams of this. I don't think there's any harm in letting that continue to whip up like that. I feel like that's fine. Again, I'm no baker, but I think that that's going to be fine. Let's get a little bowl for all of this crap. Is this wet? No, this is good. 200 grams of this. I'll do this over here since I moved it like a dope. Let's go. 170, 200! We did it. 200 grams. And then we'll use a little bit once we oil the pan. We'll throw a little bit of, we'll get a little BAM in there. So 200 here, milk BAM, baking powder, and baking soda. 2 and 1. baking. You need all these fucking tools to measure. This is the baking soda. You may remember this from the back of your refrigerator for years. 1 tablespoon of this. That's a half. That's a whole. And then baking powder. 2 tablespoons of this. That's a half. That's a whole. That's a whole and a half. That's 2 wholes. Lemon zest. We can do that on the board and we'll put it right in with that and let that go. We don't want, it's not lemon cake, but lemon zest will be a nice add here for sure. What's going on, people in the chat? You chatting up? What's going on? Talk to me. I can't just talk to my lemon all night. I'm baking a goddamn cake here. I'm rolling meatballs. I gotta make pasta. I got a lot of shit to do. Starving. Let me out here, Hendry. Alright. Lemon looking nice. I'm just gonna go right in with the lemon here because that's wet. That's dry. Let's keep it separate. That's like a thing baking people do. Thank you. I'm glad you're so enthralled. Cheers to you, sir. Okay, so let's get this in. Let's drop this down a little bit. Right, we're already making a mess. This is everything. Flour. Oh, we should get the milk in first. I'm a dope. What did I say, half cup of milk? Half cup of milk. Let's get the liquid quotient up. Don't drop it. Don't drop it. Don't drop it. Don't drop it. Oh, God! All right. Did I break that? No. I might have broke it. Whatever. It's fine. Okay. Do I put a pinch of vanilla in here? I mean, I like vanilla a lot. Let's put a pinch of... I have some nice vanilla paste. I think that'll be a nice add. Let's put a little dollop of that in there. Woo! I think that'll be nice. That's my ad. I think vanilla goes with everything. Now we can start adding the flour and all the dry goods, right? We got the liquid in there. Flour, milk, baking soda, powder, zest, and then the apples will go in. So let's get this going in. Slowly incorporate the flour. All right, looking good. We want to go in with the apples once that incorporates a little bit. You can see how it's looking very battery right now, which is what we want. Battery is an adjective, in case you weren't aware. And this is looking very much on the battery scale. Very battery. Not battery like the power bit, but battery. So now we're going to go with all these apples. Yes, this looks like... Wow! Billy, that's a lot of apples. I don't know if that's going to really work. It's going to work. Trust me. This is what Nona would do. We trust the Nona. We add all those apples in there, all that juice. A lot of goddamn apples. I'm questioning my judicious use of apples. But it's too late now, baby cakes. We're in. Let it rip. So let's incorporate... Oh, we should pull it up. Let's incorporate all those apples in there. This almost looks like a potato pancake batter, but that's what we're doing. Let's get your springform pan ready. What's that mean? Get your spray, get your butter, get your flour, whatever. Make sure your oven sets at 350. Spray that down. Let's get a pinch of flour in there. The last thing we want is for all this to stick. Wow, cake flour really looks different too. I don't know if you could, you probably can't tell, but. More! That's too much! That's what you want. Nice. So you want your, you want it to look like this. You want it to be nice and floured and oiled and ready to go. Battery. Of or having to do with batter. Correct. Put that in the lexicon. That goes into the Hack Chef lexicon. This is looking beautiful. This is looking just like what I would hope it would look like. Do we need to add anything else into here? I would say a pinch of salt. Just a little bit. Not a lot. Just to bring out If I was cooking the apples, they'll be cooking in the oven. I would put a pinch of salt in. We just want to round everything out and make it nice. This looks like a batter. Let's whip it up a little bit. Let's turn it up. Give it a nice one last run. All right, I think that's going to be good. Butter and sugar on top, and then that shit goes in the oven. So let's get it going. Let's dial it in. Because once this is in the oven, I won't be sweating. Bacon makes me more like, I don't know. I get in my head when I bake. It's real heady, man. This is looking good. Liquidy, thick, appley. That's what we want to see. Here's a nice pan. So we're going to dump the batter in there, and then we're going to dress it on the top with these apples. But we're going to get the apples ready first. Okay, what does that mean? They're already sitting here. They're looking beautiful. They're nice. I want to drain them off, get all that liquid off. You could drink that, I suppose, if you're a savage, but that's not what we're doing here. Okay, get that liquid off. And I have some room temperature butter here at the ready. So we're going to throw a knob of that in. Because, you know, recipes call for you to dab some butter on top, which is a great idea. But if you could just incorporate it with the apples beforehand, I think it would be wiser. Because then it gets all throughout, you know, that's what you want. So toss the butter, mush the butter in with all the apples. So they're all kind of coated in butter. And then we could dot more on top, judiciously. My hands are completely soaked. And if I was smart, I would have put the sugar that I wanted to put in here first. I did not. I'm a dope. But these are sufficiently buttered. My hands are very much lubed up with copious amounts of butter. This feels very strange. Very awkward hand vibe right now. Wow, that's a lot of butter on my hands. I don't even know. This is why I don't bake. Oh, God. Feels like they're... Oh, Jesus Christ. All right. I'm sure the recipes probably call for the white sugar in here. I have brown sugar. I have white sugar. But when it comes to the top of the pie, because this is going to dress the top, I have some turbinado sugar, which is more like a brown sugar, but it has a lot of the... I was going to say bran. It's not bran. This isn't flour. It has a little bit of the natural sugar left in it still, so it browns. It's similar. It's closer to brown sugar. It's got a deeper sugar profile to me. So that's what we're gonna use. Okay. Now we'll use this. Just toss it with the sugar. So this is like a buttery apple sugar vibe. And we could dress with more sugar and butter on top at our leisure. And that's going to be not the hardest part, but the most intricate part. And that's what we're going to do right now. And once that's done, we can actually start working on real food. All right. I've been quarantined for some time. Where's my guy? Here it is. All right. So we're just going to go in with that batter. You see that? That's probably better. So scrape it all out. I don't know if this looks like a good cake. I mean, this looks good and smells good. I don't know if it actually... Is this what you want a cake batter to look like? I can't tell you. I want to say yeah. I mean, it kind of looks like pudding, but it looks good too. So, not bad. Let's go with it. Okay. Nice. Check your wine. Check your wine or your cocktail, also known as quarantine coffee. So this is good. This is looking nice. So let's get these apples, and now let's arrange them on top. So if these are super, super thin, like I wanted, they're kind of variable in shape. They're holding their shape. See how they're holding their shape? They're not like ribbony. Some of them are, some are not. I don't want to like go in like a weird like French pattern. I kind of want to like, I want them to be like ribbony and floaty. If I used my knife and did the work on it, maybe I would get that, but I don't know. We go for design? I guess let's go for a little design. Let's just layer them across. See where we end up. It's very intricate. My kitchen reeks of garlic, and all I really want to do is eat meatballs, but hopefully this pie pays off at the end of the day. This is, I don't like doing this. I wanted these to be very thin and ribbony so I could just haphazardly place them on top and be done with it. But here we are. Stacking them like a Frenchman. Oh, that's a lot of butter. See, like that. Like that's a loose guy. That's what we wanted. We can see this, right? I'm not crazy? Alright, good. How's everyone doing in their quarantine? Is everyone quarantined? Is everyone COVID-free out there? Or trying to be, at least? I know this is very enthralling and exciting to watch. A man place thinly sliced apples on a cake. A grown adult who just told you he doesn't know how to bake. Trying to show you how to bake. I have a lot of apples left, and here's what we're going to do with these. We're going to do what I wanted to do in the first place. We're going to mound them right in the middle, and I think it'll be nice. See, what I probably should have just shredded all of these and maybe put a nice shred in the middle. But this will be nice. Let's just do this. Again, these are going to bake down. The liquid's going to go into the cake. It's going to get real appley up in here. It's going to be nice. And again, this is a lot of apples, and I'm okay with it. I got a lot of apples. We're cooking a lot of apples. It's fine. Everything's fine. Haphazard apple mess. Again, if these were like ribbony and high up, I think it would be really nice. But this will be something. All right. Finito. Okay. Let's get this butter lube off my hands. Do I have sugar handy? Maybe I'll just put like a little drizzy drizz on top, just for good measure. Because that's what like a baker would do. Butter and sugar on top, right? A couple knobbies. I'm already buttered up, so what the fuck, why not? Knobs of butter. Sounds like you've been quarantined. I'm adjusting well, feeling super chilled out for the last couple weeks. Yeah, I mean, it's pretty crazy, man. Living in crazy times. And then we'll use the granulated. We'll just do a quick hit on top. That's the American part of the cake where you just throw butter and sugar on top. And that's it. So we're going to throw this in the oven. 75 minutes. We're going to get all this cake crap out of here. And then we're going to start cooking real food. In oven. 60. 70. Let's do it, baby. All right, let me get all this cake crap out of here now. Clear my head and get back into my comfort zone of meatballs and Italian-American cooking. Okay. My hands are adequately lubed up. The vino's going down nicely. Everything's going fantastic right now. And you rinse out this little apple bowl because we're going to use this for something in a minute, I'm sure. And now we can start prepping the meatballs. And then we'll get to the Gnudis. We're going to make Ricotta Gnudis. We'll talk about those afterwards. And then the pasta and the beet carpaccio is going to come together pretty quickly because the beets are already roasted. I'll talk about those. And then the pasta is going to be a pretty quick thing. It's going to be a focus on the... I'll show you guys how to do Cacio e Pepe, the process, and then you can modify it however you want for whatever you're making. It applies to a few different... We'll get to it. Stop talking about it. All right. Meatball time. Garlic. This is pasta stuff. We're going to need that. Oh, let's get this out of here. That's what I want to do. We don't need this. I need my stove back, KitchenAid. Thank you for being useful and all, but I need you back. All right. Fantastic. Beef meatballs. When I make meatballs, I make it with beef, I make it with veal, I make it with pork, sometimes. Today it's gonna be all beef because I got a 5-pound sack of beef in there I gotta use, and it's gonna be beef meatballs all day. Gonna make a big batch of beef meatballs. It's gonna be fantastic. Beef meatballs. When my mother would make meatballs when I was a kid, they were onion heavy. Some people don't like onions in their meatballs. Since I grew up with it, I do. Onions in her meatballs were cut with a butter knife in her hand, like a fruit. She didn't have the best knife skills. But I take that into my recipe, and I like big chunks of onion, but I also like smaller chunks of onion. I like both. So I puree some onion and mix it into the wet mix, and then I take some larger chunks and I put that in for texture because they cook out pretty nicely. So I do both. If you don't like that, you know, you do whatever you want. I'm just going to show you what I do. I'm going to get this water on for the pasta. And we're going to start breaking down everything for the meatballs. So beef, eggs, pecorino romano cheese, onions, parsley, salt, bread, and milk. Very simple. We should start with the parsley, the bread, and the milk. I have some of these old rolls that I froze. I defrosted them earlier today. These are really delicious Balthazar rolls. So I have breadcrumbs also, but I think I'm just going to use this. So I generally want like a pound. If I'm doing 5 pounds of meatballs, I want to put like a pound to almost 2 pounds of bread. We're going to do the panade method here, which is soak these in milk so they kind of rehydrate, and then this is going to be the thing that actually makes our meatballs moist and have some texture to it, and it's going to be fantastic. I should probably move the garlic so you can actually see what I'm doing here. Ah, yeah, that's better. All right, so big ass chunks of this in here. I should probably weigh this because I think I'm going to weigh everything else. At least I know how much meat I have. So let's do that. It's going to be a lot of meatballs. A lot of the balls. What did I say? 1.5 pounds, 2 pounds, something like that? Not grams, not grams. So I'm just going to bust these rolls out in here in bigger chunks, and I'm going to offset that to make the weight that I want with breadcrumbs that I made previously. So just rip these up into shards. You could cut it, dice them down, but we're getting rostico. I mean, if you really wanted, you could probably take the harder crust on these breads off. Probably be wise to do, but I didn't, and I don't have time for it, so we're just going to deal with it. Thanks for joining, everyone who's here. I'd like to see the chat popping. It's very warm in here. I don't like when the oven's on and I'm hanging out in the kitchen. It's very hot. Very hot. Okay. I'm going to cut this one up. See how that goes. That went a little quicker. Where are we at? 8 ounces. You could use old bread for this. You can use any bread you got. It's gonna work for your meatballs. Fresh bread, old bread, stale bread. This bread was previously frozen. Seems like a lot of bread. But we're putting 5 pounds. I'm making a lot of meatballs. We're putting 5 pounds of meat in there. Alright. Making a lot of meatballs. Okay. Yeah, there we go. Boom. Alright, we're almost at a pound. Let me get out some breadcrumb. set that. This breadcrumbs I made from old breads that I had. What did I say? Pound and a half? Let's do... That looks good. And we're gonna add that cup of milk to this. We weighed this out already, so that's okay. Water's going for the pasta. So, it's, you know, mix all this together here. Okay, cup of milk. We're probably gonna need more milk than this, but we can get the party started with that. And here's what I'm gonna do with the rest of the milk. We're definitely gonna add a little bit more milk. Here's the move for the milk. We're gonna use the food processor again because we're gonna break up the onions. It'll just be easier to do in here. And again, since it's already dirty from the pie, we'll just throw the onions in here. I got 2 big boy onions. Big boy onions. Put that right there. Take one of these. I don't know if we need all of this onion. I mean, 2 big onions, solid onion, but see where we got. Peel that shite off. Alright, so we got the cake going. It's in good shape. So we're gonna get the onions. We're gonna do a rough cut on these, and then we're gonna put the whole onion into the food processor. Processor. Why can't I talk today? What the hell is wrong with me? Did some irreparable brain damage last night, I think. And then we're gonna add a bunch of parsley. I use lots of parsley in my meatballs. This is some crusty old parsley. We're just gonna throw in there in the bottom. It's gonna get blitzed up. And then I got a whole bunch of fresh parsley. But right here, I like a lot of parsley in my meatball game. In fact, I'm probably gonna use most, if not all of this. I want my meatballs to be bright and delicious. And we're definitely gonna just trim the ends off here. And the stems are very, very important. They hold lots of delicious parsley flavor. Alright, so let's blast that first. Let's break the parsley down. Let's get that where we want it, then we'll add the onions. We don't want to make the onions like water. Okay. Got milk. Alright, so that blasted the parsley stems down, which is really what we want. Now we're going to add, let's add a handful of this leaf parsley. We'll do a rough, quick chop on that, and then we'll throw in the onions. Because we don't want to murder this parsley, and we just want a rough chop on those onions. So we get this parsley in, give it a couple of blasts. That's good. And now we'll go in with the onion. And then this just gets pulsed a few times. We already broke it down into a rough chop. And then we just want to make these into not a puree, like smaller than a dice, not really a paste, somewhere in the middle. More than that. That's more than a pulse, you know what I mean? But that's nice. That's what I want to see. That's the kind of action I want. I want it to look almost like a weird salsa verde situation. Yeah, parsley adds a lot of fresh flavor, especially when you add a lot. If you add just a little bit, I don't think you're going to notice it as much. But when you put a fair amount, it's going to color the meatball really nicely, and it's also actually going to bring a lot of bright flavor to the party. Without a doubt. Trust me on that. Where am I shopping for ingredients? Where am I shopping for ingredients? Stop and Shop. Lavodi's sometimes for the Italian needs, and Whole Foods because it's right here. But I stocked up about a week and a half ago on like core ingredients, so I'm pretty good on most things. Like I went to the store just to get some, to get the parsley actually is the only thing I needed to get. So let's take a look at this, see where this is at. This is looking a little dry, but that's fine, because we're going to add this mix to it. We're going to add a little bit more milk, and the other thing I'm going to add some really concentrated chicken broth. If I didn't have it just sitting in there, I wouldn't use it, but I have it, so I'm just going to add it. I think it'll add a nice, it's super gelatinous chicken broth, so adding a little bit of gelatin will firm them up a little bit, too. And we need to add a lot of garlic, too. We haven't gotten there yet. I have to peel a bunch of garlic, so that'll be fun. Let's add this in here so it can kind of mingle with the bread and do its thing. And let's see how that looks. And if that's looking good, we'll move forward with the garlic. Toss. Again, we're adding 5 pounds of beet to this, so if it looks like a lot, there's a lot of meatballs. They're gonna get frozen. A lot of meatballs on it. This looks good. That looks like a good mix. I'm gonna rough chop an onion too and put it in there for a little bit bigger pieces, but I think I like where that looks right now. Alright, so I have a bunch of garlic I have to peel, which is gonna be not very exciting, but you know, this is a good time to ask your questions. You know, you can ask some questions if you got them. You know what I mean? Do what you gotta do. We'll keep this here. Zoom out a little bit. I'll get my garlic over here. And I like a fairly heavy hand on the garlic, so better get your wine out and get ready. Very important. Herby fresh goodness. Oh, dude, parsley. And I tell you what I've been doing, and I'm going to do it in the Carpaccio, I think, is add dill to everything. Like, a little bit of dill, people are like, oh, dill, that's a lot. But if you just take a bunch of dill and cut it up with parsley, it just mixes so well. Dill is great. I'm going to do that with the beets later. We do Stop and Shop delivery and Lavodi's curbside. Nice. I didn't know Lavodi's did curbside. Every time I go there, everyone inside is just kind of miserable. We're just going to peel these garlic cloves, and we're just going to put them in the processor. Really can't say double S's today. I don't know what the hell's wrong with it. Not all of this garlic, a lot of it. Not all. Most, not all. I already kind of shook this around, did a lot of work on this, so it shouldn't be too bad to do this. Sorry for the music selection. I have to fix my the options on this rig I have upstairs is not the greatest, but we're getting there. Let's smash a couple of these at once. Let's be productive. This is the part of the show where you do this and your hands smell like garlic for 3 days. It's beautiful. It's fantastic. So, I don't know, 20 cloves? I like a lot of garlic. I'm just going to kind of keep doing it till I feel it's done. I don't need garlic for anything else in this recipes, I don't think. The Gnudi is going to be very simple and straightforward. That's just kind of like a method. I've never made that before. I'm excited to kind of try that and talk it through. We'll learn it together. It's very exciting. See, I don't have a prep cook here doing all the work for me. This isn't a real fucking TV show. This is me making food with the music on in the back. I've got to change this music. I'm sorry. It's just the same couple songs. It's killing me. No prep cook, no production. I know. I don't even know how I could call this a show. It's really sad. So this music's not even coming through now for some reason. Or is it? I mean, that's not great, but it's coming through, right? Good. Oh, that's why. Alright, sorry, working on it. This is definitely like Twitch music. This makes me feel like I'm in a video game. Give me a different section here, bro. Upbeat? I mean, could we just get to the song? We don't need a long drawn-out intro here, sir. I don't know how that volume is. I'm gonna lower it here. It's loud. Let me know if that's decent. Sorry if it sucks, but can only do so much. I gotta get my garlic on. I'm hungry. Hungry. See, the oven's on 350 already, which is nice. Great, thank you. So the meatballs should probably take maybe a half hour. Hopefully, if all things go well, we can get these going by then. Once we blitz this up, it's a matter of just incorporating all of this with the beef and then hand rolling some balls. God damn it, I trimmed myself again. One more time. BRB, washing my hands. There we go. Every time I use this knife for intricate work, I trim myself on the corner here. Every time. This one I don't. Fantastic. So has everyone been eating all of the food in their house during the quarantine? Has your snack game gone up? Tell me more! Fantastic. Yeah, I mean, you know, when you can't leave the house and you pretty much just sit inside and eat and drink, everybody's gaining weight, I think. I'd be impressed if people come out in shape, fit out of this. All right, I mean, that's a fair amount of garlic. Let's do 1 or 2 more big boys. We'll blitz it up, and then we can get meatballing. This guy looks good. That's the guy. That's the guy I want to talk to. That's the clove. All right. Come on now. There we go. All right. Fantastic. Let's get this out of here. All of these right into the processor. Where'd the music go? What's going on here? Hardcore freezer clean out? Yeah, that's a good move. This fucking music is garbage. Oh boy. Alright, we're gonna blitz this garlic up. Yeah, blitz the garlic and then we'll do a chunk of onion. I think I have like a half onion maybe in the fridge. Already got a half onion here, this could be perfect. Just throw this in. Quick big piece on this in here. Like I said, I like some larger pieces of onion in my meatball. I'll do this big slices like Ma Dukes would do. Scrapey scrapes. Give it a quick blast with all the garlic in there. Just to rough chop it on the edges. Say, I don't use a food processor a lot, but when you bust it out and you actually start using it, it's convenient. Nice. Alright, so now throw this in there. So what do we got? We got a whole bunch of garlic, whole bunch of onion, whole bunch of milk, a little bit of chicken stock because they had it. You don't need that. That doesn't go in every batch. And nice. Okay. use my hands. I can turn this water off. It's boiling. We can put this over here. We can clean all that later. That'll be fun. Milk can go away. We don't need this big old onion. Cheese. I have a lot of random open things of cheese here. Smells good. Although I have enough beans and rice to last through the next apocalypse. Oh, nice. You should have told me, dude. I would have helped you out. I told you. And they have pecorino. This is pecorino. And this is Parmesan. So we do a little mix of Parmesan and pecorino. Like a cup and a half. I don't know. Let's use some of the parm, some of the pecorino. Yeah, all the cheese. And we'll save this one. This guy can go. Save the parm. Save the pecorino. Murder that guy. That guy's been murked. You know, water. A little seltzer break, you know? Fantastic. Alright. Eggs. Multiple eggs. I have one. I have to go get the rest. They're right there on the table. This garlic. This garlic. We'll go there. I'll trade the apples for the eggs. Get a couple of these eggs over here. I do 1 egg per pound. What's that mean? 5 eggs. 1 egg per pound of beef or any meat. So we could zoom in here now, right? Whoa! All right, there we go. 1. A 2. Look at those yolks. This music's killing me. Why does it not just keep playing? What are you doing? Alright, we're going back to the core. Sorry. Deal with it. Same 20-minute loop I got here. It's the Hack Chef House Band, everybody. Give it up. Yeah! Alright. 5 eggs. And then we're going to mix all this together. And then we'll bring out the beef. And then we'll incorporate the beef gently. And then we need to test a couple meatballs. Very important part of the meatball making process is testing the balls. I have some PPE here, and I will use it to make meatballs. Because I cut my finger before, and my hands are, I don't want to be all meated up. I'm going to feel it and see if we need that milk. We may or may not need it. We get the beef out. Ah, yeah. Oh, log of beef here. That's looking good. That's tasting fantastic. Before I glove up, I want to make sure I got everything in there. We need a little salt. We didn't do any salt. We didn't do any pepper. I actually have my Burger Magic blend here, which is salt, pepper, onion, and garlic powder. So I'm okay with just going in with this because there's a fair amount in here, and I'm not making burgers right now. Ooh, we'll just go with a nice heavy dose of that. Try to get the top back on here. And then we'll mix this whole thing up and see where it tastes. See how it tastes. If you have some of that old random Italian seasoning blend that's sitting around you need something to do with, this is a great time to throw a chunk or two of that in there. Any dried spices that you like, you can throw in here. This is the Italian seasoning, right? I should check. I like some red pepper. Just some flakes. Probably do a nice glug of olive oil in there. Some people put fennel in. If you're super Italian, like from Italy, you'll put some like raisins and pine nuts in there. But we're not doing that. We're not playing that game. I do have some. Keep Keep it together, team. Olive oil here. Just a glug. Seems like the right thing to do. And then, since I just have it here, and a fair amount of that, we'll do some of the granulated garlic. Just because it's here. And I think that's a good start. I think that's got everything we need. So we go down the list. Beef. We're going to add that once we mix in the 1.5 cups plus of pecorino and parmesan. Chill of onion, chill of garlic, chill of parsley, salt, pepper, bread, milk. And we did salt, but we're probably going to need some more salt. And then a little bit more of the red pepper. Secret red pepper. And now we can mix, then we add this, and we give it a sample hit. So let's get you heat this pan up. And then you don't want it to be like mush, you know, you want it to be nice. What does that mean? Let's find out. Beef is ready to go in. We can sit this beef right here. Okay. So let's start mixing this. Just to make sure this feels right. If it needs a little bit more moisture, we could add it. Incorporate all of that egg and that milk. It smells fantastic. This is your panade of sorts. Mush it all together. Get in there. Break up the bread. Make the onions marry with the garlic and the parsley. Yeah. This is looking nice. So you got a big piece of bread in there because you're a dope. Just break it up. It's fine. You didn't do your homework. It's okay. Smash this around. Any questions, feel free to put them in the chat room. Thank you for joining. Everyone who's here, love you. Make sure you follow. Hit the follow button if you're on the Twitch. Make sure you subscribe if you're on the YouTubes, whatever you're doing. Say hello in the chat. All right, that looks nice. So that broke down nice. Look at this. It's looking good. Big chunks of bread. I don't care. That's fine. Go with that. Now, we're going with the beef. 5-pound sack of beef, baby. Oh, yeah, that's appetizing. Everyone wants to see their beef just come out of a bag. This is 80-20 ground beef. Nice fat content on here. We'll make a nice burger, but we're making a huge stockpile of meatballs for the apocalypse. And once they're cooked out and chilled down, we can freeze them too. Frozen meatballs are fantastic. So now you just take this, and again, you just want to... Wish this cutting board was maybe easier, but yeah, you know. Mix it all together. And once it's all incorporated, you don't want to mush it. You don't want to make it like, you know, a mess. But you want to get in there. You don't want to make it like a paste. You want it to still have some integrity. Definitely going to need more salt and seasoning there, I can tell that. Does it look like a lot of bread? It certainly does. Some bready ass meatballs. I need to move this closer to me, I'm sorry. Can't work under these conditions. Would the KitchenAid come in handy here? Probably. Am I doing that? No. Just keep working it till it looks right. Remember, the bread is seasoned, and we seasoned most of the aromatics that are in here. So hopefully that carries over. Pan is nice and hot. Once this is all incorporated a little bit more, cook up a whole piece. Ooh, this onion's getting in my eye. Got the old onion eye, they call it. Call it old onion eye. No one calls it that. Ah. Wow. A lot of onions. All right. It's looking good. It's looking nice and incorporated. Looking like a homogeneous blend here. Just cook up a little hit. Take this little patty, make a little patty out of it, and bam! Bam! right in the pan. And then we're gonna taste it. Oh God, my eyes, Jesus Christ. And we're gonna taste it, adjust seasoning, and probably re-glove up and make it again. God damn my eyes. Food processor really gets in those onions. Woo! Alright, so let this sizzle away here. Where's my, this beefed up? Yeah, perfect. Smash it down. Do a little flippy flip. So you just make this so you can taste what it's going to taste like. You always want to taste your meatballs before you start cooking them, because once they're cooked, you ain't season them again. Cheers again, everybody. Thanks for joining. Appreciate it. I know you got nothing else to do tonight, but I'm glad you're here. It's really hot standing next to this oven, and there's a lot of onions in my eye. I probably seem very uncomfortable right now, and you be accurate. This is what I do for you. This is the kind of programming and entertainment I'm dedicated to giving the people, okay? So the least you can do is follow and subscribe and love me. All right, sizzle up on his beef. I'll make sure it's cooked through. Fucking eyes, Jesus Christ, man. That's what I like to see in my meatballs. A lot of meat, a lot of bread, a lot of parsley, a lot of onion. A lot of wine. All right. We almost got ourselves a medium rare meatball there. Take a look at this pie, cake. See how it's going so far? Oh yeah. Coming along. Still got another 45 on that. If these balls are ready to go, we're gonna get the big ass sheet tray. We're gonna get out. What size we want to do? We might as well go big. We got a lot of balls here. We'll go big balls. Scoop out the big balls, we'll roll them all out. We'll get that big ass sheet tray. Hey, buddy. Eyes are totally still tearing. Oh, I forgot to put this light on. Maybe we could get it in one tray, maybe not, we'll see. Hey, thank you, Skeeter Brooklyn. Oh boy, is that Skeeter? You're a man. I'm glad you made it. Alright, so let's try this meatball. It's a big part of the process here. Shit's very important, this part. Look at this. Number one, it looks beautiful. It's a really beautiful, you got autofocus here? What fucking year is this? Jesus Christ. Well, it looks really good. Okay? Smells great. Seasoning is delicious. Definitely needs more salt. Onions, parsley, aromatics, all that is good. It just needs more salt. So I'm gonna hit it with like half of this. And I'm gonna just hit it straight with that kosher hitter. Now remember, we got 5 pounds of beef here, right? In retrospect, didn't put that much salt in, so we're gonna do one glove this time and just kind of work it real quick. And then we'll cook up another one. Another one! Make sure it's good. So just work that salt in. This is the hard part. Working in a small amount of salt to a large batch. Fold and fold and fold and fold. Remember, the cheese has a lot of salt also, so that's where probably a lot. It's not lacking that much, but it definitely needs it. It needs a little bit more salt. Skeeter Brooklyn, thank you for joining. What do you want, Twitch? Say hi. What do you eat? What are you drinking in the quarantine? How is Brooklyn in the quarantine? How's that Brooklyn, baby? Talk to me about Brooklyn. Yeah. That's my workout for the day. That's how you burn off fucking 3 bottles of wine in a day. All right. That's good. Let's do the same process. Scoopy scoops. Pat it out. That's bready. We want it. Well, yeah, it's fine. Let's go a little. Work yourself a little ball there. Let me zoom this out. Whoa! There we go. Bam! This one should be on the money, I think. And then we can start scooping. This milk we don't need. I don't know what the hell I'm going to do with a little pittance of milk here, but figure it out. So beef. The hell else did I say I was going to make today? I said too much shit. I'm making too much for you people. Meatballs are going. Gnudi, pasta and salad. The gnudi, I'm excited to actually do that. So once we ball these up, we'll do the gnudi. It won't take long. Let me show you what I've been doing with that. Gnudi is Italian for nude. And these are supposed to be like, the idea of these is almost like a nude ravioli. I had them at a restaurant in New York called Zio a couple times. They're really delicious. It's essentially the best ricotta cheese that you could find, delicately mixed with a wee little bit of flour, and then rolled into a ball. And then, here's where the process comes in, I guess. And then you take the ball and put it into, you roll it in like a bowl of semolina flour, and then you let it sit in a tray of semolina flour for like anywhere from 1 to 4 or 5 days. And while the wet ricotta ball sits in the semolina flour, you give it like a tussle every time you open the fridge or something. And it starts to make a semolina, we use semolina flour to make pasta. It starts to make a semolina like crust around the gnudi, which makes like a little pasta vibe. And it's just like a pillowy, delicious thing. And I bought this big thing of ricotta, and I used a bunch, and I had a lot left, and it's still delicious. And it seemed like a great time to just fuck with that and try to make it. So I put the ricotta, most recipes suggest you put it in a strainer and strain it out. That's what I did. It wasn't too wet to begin with. And you gotta use the good shit. You can't use like polio. I love polio and all that for certain things, but for this is just seasoning and cheese delicately handled. This is so classic, like real Italian, because it's very simple and it's all about the best ingredients. So get the best, spend the money on the good ricotta, and we'll first watch this and make sure that the method works. But I'm not gonna be able to make these tonight because they take 2 or 3 days. So we're gonna shape them. We're gonna put them in the semolina. I'll show you how to do that, and then I'm gonna put them in the fridge. And then what I'll actually do is, if you follow me on Hack Chef on Instagram, in a couple days when I make them, I'll post them. But these, they gotta set up. Part of the process is building that, self-building pasta dough around it, apparently. So I'm excited to do that. And you could eat them with like a simple butter sauce. You treat it like almost like a ravioli, or butter sage, walnut kind of vibe, or a little pomodoro. This is another place that I had it. Whatever you got. Take your time. Think rustico. All right, there's a meatball hitter. Let's see how this goes. Watch this be too salty now. That's on the money. Yep, we're ready to ball. That's pretty damn good. Nice. All right. So let's get balling. We're gonna use this pan. I'm gonna spray this pan down with the non-stick. We're gonna get a glove. Let's see, do I want 2 gloves? Do I want a glove? Do I want a glove? Probably. Just use a glove. What are you guys eating tonight? What's on the menu? Yes, I tasted 2. I made 1 baby meatball. It needed salt. We added salt, and now we're back, and now we're ready to ball up. Spray down your pan so the shit don't stick. And let's see if 5 pounds of meatballs can fit on the sheet, and then we're ready to party. Yeah. Serious hack chefing, bro. Fucking hack chef. Fuck yeah. Next to the name, GQ. Alright. We're gonna use this because it's easier. We're just gonna round it out, pop it in a hand. And we're just gonna portion them out right now. Can we see this or no? Yeah, we're just gonna portion them out and then we'll come back and roll them proper. So let's just make sure that they all fit on the pan. And then we could give these a good shape. I'm gonna bake these. These are getting baked or roasted, whatever you want to call them. You could just roll them up and cook them in a sauce, but that's not what's happening. These guys are getting roasted out in the oven. You could literally just drop these into a tomato sauce like this and eat them, and they're delicious. In fact, hold on. This hand's not meated. A little tomato sauce here. We're gonna do that. We're gonna take a couple meatballs and cook it in the sauce. Because I have a little tomato sauce that I made previously. We'll rinse this out. We're gonna bring that up to a temperature. I'm working with one meated hand here. Deal with it. Alright? And then the lid for that is right here. So we're gonna bring that up to a little sizzle, and then we're gonna dump just straight meatballs right in there. No char. We're gonna poach those babies in there. Just a couple. Because these probably aren't all gonna fit here, let's be honest. You could bunch your meatballs up on the tray. It's okay. You wanna make it work. I mean, I should probably just be shaping these as we go. Maybe. Probably not. Yes, no, maybe. I don't know what I'm doing. Music still playing? Good. Yep. So we can do 6 in a row here. Nice. I might be able to fit all these in there. So tonight for dinner, I'm gonna have if all these meatballs fit on here, I'll have a roasted meatball. But if not, I'll have a couple poached meatballs because I'll cook them right in the sauce. If you poach a meatball in the tomato sauce without searing it or charring it first at all, it really you get a super delicate, pillowy texture out of it. I don't know if you've ever done that. Like literally, just take this ball, round it up, nice, like a give it a good shape, and then just throw it right in the sauce and let it poach. It's just like really soft, a really tender meatball. You don't get the char, which I do like. I do like a char on my ball. I like a fried meatball. Don't we all? But if you got a little excess and you don't want to use another pan, you can just throw them right in some sauce like I'm gonna do. So we're making a lot of meatballs here, and they freeze well, which is great. Yay, mod, next level. You're the best. 6. Banging these out. I'll show you the tray. I think, yeah, you can see the tray. Good. Just rounding off these scoops. I want to make somewhat even. Again, I'm going to come back and actually give these a meatball shape afterwards. I'm just portioning right now. Making sure. Seeing what fits on the tray. And yeah, there's huge chunks of bread in here. And that's okay. I'm fine with that. I like that. It's going to be nice texture. As these meatballs cook up and that cheese starts to melt and that cheesy oil goodness starts to ooze, the beef fat will mix with it and get in that bread and crisp up. That's what you want. Texture. Texture bombs. Little texture hitters. Big old hunk of onion and garlic in there, ain't no problem. Big fan. I like texture on my meatballs. I don't like a simple, like a shitty meatball that has like one note texture reminds me of like cafeteria meatballs that just taste like, I don't know, if they made like a meatball powder, like that's what it tastes like. Garbage. No one wants that shit. Get your shit out of here. These are texture. These are, you use what you got. Again, in Italy they put raisins and fucking pine nuts and shit in their meatballs because they got them there. No one's got to use some raisins and pine nuts that's going in a meatball, and you're gonna eat it and you're gonna like it. It's gonna be great. Stop crying. Okay. Okay. This is looking good. Looking nice. What size scoop do I use? Well, for this one, we're using a little bit bigger. I don't know if this has a number on it. Doesn't. But, this is like I'd say this is probably like I'd say these are 3-ounce balls, if I had to guess. Possibly 4-ounce. Lucky we have technology. We can see exactly what it weighs. We're going to play Guess the Ball Size. What's that weigh? We're going to find out right the fuck now. We're taking your guesses. How many ounces is that ball? Tear. I was right. 3 ounces. You know, 3 ounce balls. These are 3 ounce balls. This is probably as big as I want my meatballs to be. Nice. Alright. Okay, so look at that. Perfect full tray of meatballs. Now we're just going to go in and size them up. Well, rather shape them up. Just give them a quick roll. Nothing crazy. Just, you know, you don't want to overwork them. Don't overwork the balls. You want to give them a little space in the pan. They don't need too much. You don't want to butt up, but they don't need too much space. And if these don't fit, it's okay, because we're going to... I was going to poach some in the sauce, but we don't need to. We don't need to. Maybe I still will. Let's see. Let's see where we get at the end here. We'll do 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Sometimes I like to make smaller meatballs. Nothing wrong with that. Usually I would go a little smaller, but since I make 5 pounds of meatballs, I made these a little bit bigger. These look like a good shape, though. I'm not mad at these. Oh, playing the hits, baby. We're smooth hitters. I feel weird not shilling the number to call in. 843 Rebel TV, 843 Rebel TV. If you call, I definitely won't answer now because I'm wearing gloves and I'm rolling meatballs. And I'm not taking my gloves off, so... I don't know, it's got nothing else to say. I'm rolling meatballs. This still has to be more entertaining than most Twitch food channels, I'm sorry. Not being a hater, I'm just saying. You go check out some of that great content over there, you know. It's much better. Say it! These little beefy chunker boys are doing good. Appreciate all of you joining and being in the chat, chatting it up. You're very nice. You're too kind. Appreciate you. I feel like every time I make meatballs, they're a little bit different. I think last time I made meatballs, I had some sopra di sat in the fridge I had to go, so I cooked it up and added that in there. That was nice. You know, I made meatballs with mortadella in them before. Ooh, those were good. Those nice chunks of mortadella in there. By the time you roast it, they just get like, it just gets like, you know, that pork fat, that mortadella just melts. That delicious flavor. Ooh, yeah. Ooh, yeah. Do a Mark Ribier shake, baby. It's a meatball dance. It's a Mark Ribier meatball dance. So these are looking good. Can we see them yet? Yeah, we see them. They're studded. I can see in the camera that they're studded with big chunks of bread because I wasn't diligently breaking up my bread. But for this batch, I'm okay with that. I had some bread. I know it's tasty, delicious bread. I didn't want to rip off and waste the crust, so I threw it in there. It's okay. Every batch could be a little bit different. You can see the the large amount of parsley I have in there. A lot of recipes, if you look at some, not a lot, but some recipes call for a lot of spinach in a meatball. I feel like that takes away from the meatball for me. I don't hate it. I'm not going to say no to a meatball with spinach in it. It's just that's like, I don't know. To me, that tastes like a different. I feel like you're going in a different direction. You tell me you give me a meatball, I want my ball just to have meat in it. So double down on the parsley. That covers the green quotient that I would want, and it brings a lot of flavor to the party for sure. Without that. All right, so we're gonna overrun. We're definitely gonna have some meatballs to poach. Just throw these in the bowl over here so I can have some space to tighten up on this pan here. So last time I baked and roasted meatballs, I went a little hard on the temperature, and I see someone's calling, but the problem is I can't answer the phone, so I appreciate the phone call. I'm gloved up. I should have thought about that. Call me when I'm not rolling meatballs, you know what I mean? You had 2 hours before this to call. And you call now? Come on. Come on, guy. Get it together. Okay. And what the hell was I saying? Spinach and meatballs. You know, if you gotta do it, go for it. That's you, dude. You make your meatball. Do what you gotta do in your life. You're the one who's gotta go to sleep at the end of the night and say, I was okay with that, you know? Let me just tighten these rows up a little bit so we could fit in another row at the end. Again, you don't want them to touch. It's okay if they touch, but ideally they're not. They could be very close. It's okay because they're gonna shrink a lot. Like I said, last time I made meatballs, I went pretty hard in the paint on the temperature, and they got really roasty, really crispy. Still delicious, still juicy, but I'm gonna lean back a little bit this time, and I'm gonna bake it with the temp that the cake is actually going at 350. If I pull the cake and the cake's looking good, I might bump it up to maybe 375. But I'm okay with cooking it at 350. These guys can go in there, they can kind of slow roast. I'm cool with that. It ain't gonna make them bad meatballs, they're gonna be delicious. If you got time and you wanna roll these up in a little like breadcrumb, you could do that. If you want to fry these, you could do that. I'm not doing that. I ain't got time for that. 1, 2, 3, 4. Yeah, this will be good. We could fit. I think we could jam. I think we could squeeze 4 more in here. Don't we think? A couple touch, it's alright. Thank you for joining, viewers. Good to see you. People I know. Good to see people I don't know. You the best. Joining on Twitch, joining on YouTube, wherever you're coming from. Thank you. Thank you for clicking all the buttons. Thank you for liking. Thank you for following. Thank you for all of the things. All right, so we got a packed tray of meatballs here ready to go. I got 3 in the chamber over here. And what I'm going to do with these 3... I'm going to break these up actually into, I got 3 random meatballs that don't fit on there. I'm just going to hand eyeball and make these into 4 meatballs and eat them for dinner, okay? So I'm just going to rip that in half. I know you can't, can you see this? Probably not. I was going to make them a little smaller than there because they're going to poach. I'm going to poach them very slowly. So these ones are going to be a little bit smaller. And these are going to poach out in the sauce. Maybe I can make 6 out of this. 5. I got 5 on it. And let's pull this guy out of here. Make the 5th one a little bigger. We got 5 meatballs. Okay. So we got 5 out of the 3 that we got. Let's we can deglove because we're done rolling the balls. Real nice. All right. Scrape up the beef that's just fucking hanging around here. Throw out your PPE. Check on your sauce. We see the sauce? We see the sauce. It's a bubble of nice. Just give it a stir real quick. Just give it a quick taste. I forget what the hell the sauce is. Oh, this is like a pizza sauce I made for the pizza last week. Oh yeah, those are good tomatoes. Needs a little salt. Nice. Morton's kosher salt, baby. Don't fuck around with anything else. I'm filling up my thing. I'm not adding all of that to the sauce. Sorry if you didn't see that. I'm not adding that much salt. Definitely needs a pinch of salt though. Because we added that water, let's not forget. We diluted it a little bit. And now we're going to throw the meatballs in here just to cook. Hopefully the 5 meatballs fit in this little pan. I think it will. It's a very simple sauce. There's not much going on in there. Just tomatoes and goodness. So we're going to put this on the back burner. Put it on very low. We're going to slowly just poach these. We can see what's going on here. Is that better? Yeah. So again, plop your little meatball fellas in there. And these are going to be the poach boys. Okay? Lit them up. All that beefy flavor goodness is going to go right through the sauce. And it's going to be a fantastico. These, on the other hand, are ready to go in the oven. Okay? Let's get this out of here. What a goddamn mess! Fix that real quick. Another cheers to whoever's here watching. Chin-on. Okay, let's get these in the oven. I don't think the racks are configured properly to put the balls in the pot, the cake at the same time. Definitely not. So we're gonna move. We're gonna move the rack for the cake, which will be done in about 20 minutes. It's looking very nice though. To the top, and then we'll put the meatballs in the bottom. All right, and then that's gonna be 20 minutes. Let's just kick it off over here on another timer for the sake of it. Stop the beeping. Give that 30 minutes on the clock. It's a lot of work, but I got meatballs for days now. I mean, I got a lot of meatballs over there, so I'm happy. I'm happy you guys could join me for this too. Very excellent of you. What's going on here in the chat? Looking good. Music still playing? Great. I'm getting my phone's blowing up. What am I missing here? Anything? That is business, doing real important business here. All right, so the meatballs are going. They're cooking a little lower than I usually would. They're, I go 375. It's at 350. Tomato. Let's do the gnudi, and then we can get to work on actually making dinner, which will come together pretty quickly. The dinner's gonna be quick. The gnudi should be quick, but let's see. Let's see where we end up. Let's see what happens. Just straighten up this mess in here before I have an OCD freak out. We can get these gloves out of here. I don't think we need these. Nice. Okay. So now we make it a gnudi. So again, I've never made these before, so bear with me, okay? But like I said, you take the good, you take the bad. Semolina. This one's open already, obviously. That's why it's wrapped like a kilo of cocaine. We're gonna add the. There goes my phone. Shit. Ah, Christ. Oh, an apple peel. All right. I really need to fix this music situation. Sorry. I promise. Next time I do a hack chef up here, we'll have better music. We'll have a thing lined up. Sorry. Okay. So for the gnudis, what did I write? It's really chicken scratch. I have 500 grams of ricotta to 80 grams of flour, mixy mix. Some people put nutmeg in, and you can season it up if you want, but we're gonna keep it simple. We're gonna do a pinch of salt, a little bit of nutmeg, because I think that makes sense to me, and then we're gonna mix it with the flour, and then we're gonna roll it, and then that's gonna be that. It's very simple. Some people add Parmesan and pecorino to it. I have a little Parmesan. I don't want to do that. Let's not fuck with the recipe. Let's just do a core straight, normal recipe and see where it ends up. Did they use semolina flour in the to mix with the actual ricotta? And that I don't know, and I'm just gonna say yes. I'm gonna go with the semolina. Because one, it's right in front of me and we have plenty of it, and two, in these recipes where I try to be authentic to a true Italian recipe. Oh boy, that's sizzling. How come no one told me that was sizzling? That's okay. I try to be, when I think of recipes like this, and I try to be, I try to think of where it came from. I like to give you guys the thought process I have for dishes, like with the cake. I'm no baker, but I try to tell you what I want it to look like and what I want it to taste like. And I take a bunch of recipes and I kind of manipulate them and hope they end up how I want them. Like, that's kind of how I cook. So I hope by watching, that's kind of what you get, because you should always think about the end result and then work backwards. So when I think about this dish, I've only had it a couple times. It was delicious, but I try to think about like an old Italian grandmother in Italy. How, why or how are they making it this way? Probably because they had some old ricotta cheese that they needed to use. So they kind of mixed it up with the pasta scrapes. They were making pasta and they just had some shit laying around and they just kind of made it. They just kind of fluffed it together. So in my mind, given that logic, it doesn't make much sense
to bring in a different flour. Let's just use a semolina. If I was making pasta, I would use the semolina. I think that's what we're gonna do. So the first thing they tell you to do, most recipes, is to drain the ragout, which we did. And I took a ratio, I took like an average of some of the ratios I saw in recipes. And we're just gonna start there, and we're gonna modify, but we're gonna start there just to see what it looks like. Because they seem pretty legit. So the one that I saw was 500 grams of ragout to 80 grams of the flour. So I don't even know how much I have here, but let's just put it in and weigh it and see what we got. We got 700 and change. So, yeah, that ragout is ridiculous. Ah, that's so good. Wow. Yeah, that's good. Okay, so we got almost 750, 733 here. You know what? Let's do this. I have some parm. Let's make it 750, just so we could call it, you know, a recipe and a half of the numbers that I put down, right? So we'll just add a little parm. No one would do this. It's fine. So we got 750 of cheese. This is a pinch of parm, and this will actually act like the salt component in here also. So I'm okay with that. It's not going to be overly parmy. You're not going to eat it and go, oh shit, there's a lot of parm in there. Give it a little kiss of salt. Let's give it a little bit of pepper, just a little bit. And I want to hit it with a little bit of nutmeg, just a little bit. I don't want it to taste like nutmeg. I want it to just, whenever you're, like, literally, like, what I do, 3 little shakes there, like, that's it. Nutmeg could be an aggressive, flavorful addition to recipes, or it could just be a nice little note that's playing in the background. And when I use it, generally I want it to be a note playing in the background. I don't think I ever make anything that's aggressive nutmeg. My dog's freaking out outside, I don't know why. So this, we're gonna add, I said 500 to 80. So that would be so this would be 750 to 120. Let's put the 80 in and kind of see what it looks like. 80's not gonna be a lot of semolina. It's gonna be a couple handfuls. And you know, the less is more on the semolina. I'm sure they don't want you to use all. You only want enough to bind it together. Some recipes use egg, some do not. That's 80, all right? So let's just get in there. Let's play with the 80 and see where this winds up. I wonder if using my hand might be a better option here. But let's see what kind of texture we got with the 80. Because this ragout is pretty dry to begin with. You know, you're gonna add or subtract flour depending on she's a fork here. You're gonna add or subtract flour depending on your how moist your ragout is. And most recipes suggested that you drain your ricotta cheese, but I think that's because most people get shitty, super wet ragout. Mine was pretty dry to begin with. I did drain it. I'm not mad that I did. But let's just give this a forky mix. Let's mash it all together. Let's see where we get here. This is looking pretty dry, but that's okay. Because we need to shape these in wee little dumplings. So it's okay if it's a little dry. Because again, this ultimately gets boiled like pasta. That's it. This guy's gonna get boiled like pasta, yes. And we expect it to not fall apart. Yes, all of those things I just said were true. We're going to take these, shape them, turn them into magic. Little fluffer. Oh, we should have a bigger bowl for this, really, but this will work. Can we see what I'm doing here? I'm not very conscious of not being conscious of my angles. Sorry, I apologize. I can work it here so you can see it. So, I mean, all we're doing is mixing it in. You can see the cheese in the... Can you see it there? Yeah, you can see the cheese and the parm is all incorporated. It's definitely denser now. You know, you probably just want to work this till you don't see any of the flour anymore, which is, we're almost there. And if you added the cheese, you know, I don't even see the seasonings or the cheese here. This is just like a tight ricotta situation. Like it's dense. Like I don't know how else I could show you that it's like how dense it really is. But again, you got to make these and then you let them sit for a few days. That's the secret. You scrape the bottom, flip it up. That's looking nice. This is looking like a nice texture. It feels like a whipped ragout, which is kind of what I wanted. I actually thought about whipping it in the KitchenAid first. You get that texture right? Sorry, eating off my hands like a savage. I would definitely not up the semolina on here. I think we've nailed it. I think that's a great texture. I'm really pleased with this. This looks good. I don't see any dry spots. It looks nice, so I want to move with that. Can't stop eating it. All right. So now, part two. I need a landing zone. I gotta eyeball how many. Why don't we do this? Why don't we make them? We definitely need bigger than this. We're gonna make them, and then we'll get some kind of containment unit. We'll figure it out. We'll make it. So I'll show you how we make them. Not that I know. I'm learning. I'm learning with you. See, I try to give you something that I know what I'm doing. Meatballs. And now I'm gonna give you some shit we're learning. I'm making a fucking cake tonight. I'm drinking wine for the first time in my life. I've never had wine before. This is very exciting. Delicious. Okay, so we're just gonna make them, and then we're gonna lay them on the board here. Then we'll see how much, what size kind of dish I need to put these away. I don't even know what the hell I could put them in. That's like a reasonable size. I wish I had. I just wish I had that lined up. I don't have anything that's like, you know, the perfect size. I need the perfect size. Ugh. Oh God. I'll be honest with you, this massive Pullman loaf pan might be perfect. We're gonna find out. Let's get the salt and the pasta water. Salted, that's for later. So let's play with these. So I don't have any notes on how to actually shape them. I know they're like pillows in different shapes. I'll wash my hands. I don't want to glove up for this. I would think my hand should be oiled. Maybe my hand should just be wet. Now my hand should probably be dry because they're gonna be going in the flour. I don't know. This is tricky. We're gonna learn. It's probably gonna be a mess, but we're gonna figure it out. So let's just take a scoop. Do it here. There we go. I'm gonna take a scoop, and I'm gonna try to like just like shape a little. That seems like the right amount, and you know, kind of just. Not meatball, but just like dumpling. You know, I don't know if that's the right shape. And then you just kind of, from what I saw, you put it in the semolina and you just toss it. If I had a fork, that'd be perfect. And you just kind of cover it in semolina. And then, you know. Hey, thank you, Billy H2O. I know you. And then you take this delicate pillow. That's nice. You take that pillow of Ricotta and the semolina, and that's going to be your Gnudi. That seems a little big. I mean, I'll make a couple more of that size, but I probably want to steer a little smaller than that. Again, just a rough little shape. And then just kind of... Yeah, I mean, when it's in here, honestly, when it's in with the semolina, you could kind of roll it into its own shape. It kind of takes its own kind of blobular form in there. It's not like a meatball. You know, you just kind of want to... You just want to get the mass together. The flour in the ricotta really helps immensely. And you just cover it. Again, this is like when you make pasta, semolina is a huge part in it. But now think about it. We're taking the wet ricotta cheese that has a little bit of pasta flour in it, and we're rolling it in pasta flour, and then it's going to sit literally in like a bed of pasta flour for days. What does that mean? That means over the course of a couple days, when you go in there and move it, because you give it a shake every day or two. You know, like I said, whenever you open the fridge, you give it a little shake. I like that. I like the rustic, just the blobs in there. So I could probably do a couple at a time. Let's say 3 at a time. the idea, what you'll want is that this kind of forms a crust. You want it to have like a skin on it. I like that. The random ones, not the proper shape. I like they might be better with the, honestly, I'll do a couple more like proper shapes and I'll do a couple more randos. You see what I'm doing here, right? Good. I mean, it's the same. I'm using like a spoonful. You know, I'm keeping the volume the same. I'm just gonna shape them differently because I'm actually curious to see how how it's gonna turn out boiling. I think the trouble here, in my mind at least, is when you boil this, how does it not just turn to shit? Dude. So now I'll take this one and then maybe we'll shape this into a little bit more of a proper shape. Just like a quick little rolly. Do a couple. It's exciting. It's genuinely exciting for me. I don't know if it's exciting for you. I'm excited about this. So now you gotta babysit these bitches in the oven. I'm not in the oven, in the fridge. Because again, stir it around in the semolina. So these are the nicer shaped ones. I'm curious to see if these boil up better. And again, follow me on the Instagram because I'm not cooking these tonight because you gotta let the skin form. That's a part of it. So these nicer little shaped ones, nicer, lack of a better term, are going to. I think maybe the ones that have a little bit more structure will stay together. Still hungry. We hungry too. All right. Well, you know, we're gonna be eating soon. Everybody, relax. This is prep. I got a lot of streams coming up. You know what I mean? So I gotta make food for the week. A lot of work going on here in the channel. A lot of work. A lot of building. A lot of structure building. So I mean, I can feel this has this semolina. This has a feel of like a pasta. I like where it's heading. It seems right. I like where this is going. I kind of honestly thought this might turn into a colossal shit show of a failure, but this is working out nicely. 2, 8, 9, 8, 9. All right, so we'll do one of those and one of these. 10 and 10. Okay. We could probably fit it in the other thing. That seems unnecessary. Now that I made these. Okay, one more rando, one more structure. And you could probably go pretty deep with flavoring these. Like you could season these up pretty hardcore, I'm sure. That's our cake. I'm gonna check the cake. Look, great timing. It's almost like I thought this out. All right, just toss these again, pull these out. Rando, nice. Cheese balls in there. Get a proper wash on the hands. The old hands here. Nice. Okay. Which can go away. We'll get something better than this. We're gonna use. I think we can use this. Nah. No. Guess we gotta go with the like big sheet pan kind of thing. Yeah, use this guy. It's a terrible old garbagey sheet pan. Now you just put all of your semolina in a pan, more if needed, and then you're gonna unload those into there. But let's check on this pie, this cake sitch. Ooh, meatballs are doing a thing. Meatballs looking nice. Let's see how that cake looks. Oh shit, that cake looks great. Okay. Let's just put this cake in the back, let it rest for a hot minute, and then we'll pop it out of the spring form and see if it actually looks great or not. Let's take these and get these situated in here, and then this is where they live for the next couple days. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 1, 2, 3. How many did I make? 3, 6, 5, 11 of each? Alright. I thought I had like... I thought I had 10. Alright. So, you know, the idea is you put these away like this. I don't know if they're supposed to be buried. I'm not sure. Drone these Gnudis over to Linkcroft. But you can't eat these tonight. If you caught earlier, this is a multi-day project. You do this, and now this shit sits in the fridge for a day or 2. Or 3 or 4. It's very dependent on what your rogot is like. If you got looser rogot, harder rogot, it's gonna be different. So I don't know if this should be like covered. I do have more semolina, and I think for the sake of experiment, I want to cover them more. Again, I wish I had a little smaller thing, but fuck it. We're just gonna. Because I'm going to use the semolina anyway. It's not like I'm not going to use it. So you literally kind of want them buried. I mean, if I had another bag on hand, I would literally just bury them. But that looks good. And that's it. I don't even know if I'm supposed to cover it. I think not, because you want it to dry out. So this is just going to go in the fridge like that. And then you give it a shake. You give it a toss every day or so. And then they're going to develop a skin of pasta. A very, very thin sheen of pasta on the other side. In a day or 2. So, we'll check on that when the time comes. You could watch that experiment develop on the old Hack Chef Instagram. Apple cake, get over here. Come here! Come on, I want to talk to you. I have many words to say to you. You good apple cake? What are you doing? You right? I think when you bake, you're supposed to temp check. I bake bread, I temp check my bread. I'm going to temp check the inside of this. This is reading a cool 201 after sitting for a couple minutes. So I'm going to say that the inside of that looks really nice. We're going to pop the spring form. We're going to grab the ye old spring form. Grab the bottom. You know how these spring forms work, right? This isn't your first rodeo. This also isn't the way to do it. There's a better way to do this. This is the part of the show where I try to figure out the better way to do it, and 50-50 chances I hurt myself. But here we go. This is the way you do it. Spring form pan. You loosen the side, and then you put it on something. Oh, careful, careful. We need this guy. We need a little sizzling. It's sticking. It's a little helper. It's a little helper over here. Oh, no, not. You know what I wanted to add to this? Fuck! I wanted to add amaretto to this, but it's alright. Next time. Maybe I'll make like an amaretto something to go with it. Apples, amaretto, butter. Seemed right. See a little flour on the bottom. Ooh, that's hot. See a little flour on the bottom? It's okay. This is not the best tool. Ah! Yeah, baby! Look at that. That looks nice. We can't see the bottom yet. Still hot. I just want to get it out of the form. Let's look at the side. Looks nice and brown all around. Really nice. So we're just going to let this cool and probably get into that later. Possibly some vanilla ice cream on there. I mean, it smells fucking fantastic. Not going to lie. Wow! I'm great. Okay. I'm literally out of space due to not enough forethought in my planning here. But we're working. Now it's the part of the show where we eat dinner. We're going to make Cacio. What time is it? Fucking hungry. 8? That's good. 2 hours dinner? Dinner should be ready about a half hour. So meatballs are going. We got about 6 minutes on the meatballs up. Let's crank them up. Let's give it a blast at the end. Let's crank it up to 400. Fuck it. We'll give it 10 minutes. Because I took 8. Maybe 5. 5 minutes on that. Pasta water's ready to go. Let's get about a half pound of pasta out. Yes, I weigh my pasta. This way I know what I'm always working with. I don't like pussyfooting through some pasta when I don't know what's going on. I like knowing how much pasta I got left. I got a pound in the bag. I want to eat half of it tonight. I want to know I got half in the bag. So this is Rao's spaghetti. It's supposed to be very good. I haven't had this brand of pasta yet. but I've heard good things. 8.20, good enough. This spaghetti can go back in the spaghetti holder, which is just up here. Let's be honest, it's probably gonna fall out and make a mess later. The spaghetti's ready to go. Okay. Meatballs are poaching. Let's get a good peek on those. Let's give them a little toss. These are so pillowy and light, I can feel it. It's amazing. Nice. Those are gonna be delicious. That's gonna be really nice. We can get this out of here. Let's get out the beets. Let's talk about beets for a minute. We'll make a beet salad. That could sit at room temperature. And then when that sits at room temperature, we'll make the Cacio e Pepe, because that's going to come together in about 10 minutes. It's a very quick process. Pussyfooting through pasta. We missed the apple cake recipe. We'll have to get it on the reruns. Yes, you will. All of these episodes you could watch on RebelVisionTV.com and or Twitch TV, Rebelvision TV. They're all archived for your enjoyment. Although I wouldn't necessarily go there for a recipe. You could just message me and I'll give you the recipe. I write down like recipes. We kind of work with them as we go. What did I say we're doing now? The beets. Here's an appetizing looking sack. I have parsley out here still. Yep. Still. Let's do some feta. I think that's it. If I had more shredded apples, I might go with this vibe, but we're just gonna go with it. So check this out. Beet Carpaccio. When you eat beets, let's start here. When's the last time you ate a beet? Everybody, when's the last time you ate a beet? Talk to me. Billy, I know you haven't eaten a beet in probably decades. Yeah, you would never eat a beet. It's not really your wheelhouse. So, when you get the raw beet that's all hard as fuck and big and rough to work with, it's very simple. You do nothing with it but wrap it in tin foil and throw it in the oven for 2 hours at like 350, 370. That's it. Walk away. That's all you gotta do. It's that simple. And then you take it out and you peel it under cold running water, and the peel comes off very easily. And then you got roasted beets. I happen to have red and yellow, golden and red beets here. They smell fantastic. And the beet, I tried to separate the beet juice from the red, from the yellow, and they kind of mushed together. But the yellow beet kind of turned into a red yellow beet. It's kind of stained. It's kind of cool. I'm not mad at that. I do have a lot of the yellow beets, so I'm going to do a beet and a half, I guess, of the yellow one, because I got a lot. If I don't eat all this, it's fine. Word of warning about beets: they will stain the shit out of your hands, your loved ones, your urine, everything you touch with a beet. It's a goddamn mess. So be careful, glove up if you gotta. Oh, she experimented in college and had a beet? That's funny. We're gonna go very simple with this. We're gonna get a nice plate. Again, think about the end of the dish. Think about what you want it to look like on the plate, okay? Here's our plate. We got these beets. I mean, look at that beautiful color. I don't want to touch it again, but look at that. That yellow golden beet got stained with the red juice. It looks really fucking nice. So we're gonna make it look real pretty. I'm gonna put the red beet in the middle, some slices. I'm gonna put the yellow beet around it. And then we're gonna dress it with a just a little simple oil and vinegar, super herby situation right on top. So first thing we're gonna do is just slice these beets down really thin. Maybe not really thin. Like we got a lot of the red. You know, look at the shape of your beet. This one kind of fell in half. It's not the best shape, but we're gonna go with it. Them's the balls. Let's check the meatballs. Very important. Let's temp check the meatball. That'll give us a good indicator of where they're at. They're $1.60 inside. They're probably well quite good, but let's give it another 5. I like to be a little crispier on top. The heat's still coming up in the oven. So I'm just gonna slice these, not super thin. I mean, I guess it's a carpaccio, but like we're just, you know, maybe this is more of a beet tartare. I don't know what you know, where you want to go with this. It's a beet salad. All right, so you try the beet. These red boys look delicious. I wish there were big whole circles, but this beet fell apart. We'll use that. That's okay. This one will give us some nice slices. This one looks like a peach. Beautiful. So again, these are roasted for 2 hours. They're super soft and really, really sweet. Like candy sweet, not lime. They're really sweet. They're delicious. Cut the ends off of this. And we'll just cut another couple slices here. Not yet, soon. So, let's make thinking. Do I want to season the beets first and then put them down on the plate? Do I want to make the dressing, put that on the plate, and put the beets on top? I think I want to take the beets and give them a little bit of a seasoning and then plate them. So I'm going to put all the beets in a bowl. I want to hit them with that good olive oil. A little bit of salt. And I think that's it. That's it. Just the beets, olive oil, salt. We just want to season these guys so they're ready to go. So they're even better than they were just cut up sitting on my board. Careful, gentle, don't break them. I see they're breaking already, they're delicate. And now, just make it pretty on the plate. And we got these big bad red boys right here. Maybe you want to stack them with the color guys. Okay, so these red guys, you know, they don't got the best shape on them, so maybe put those on the bottom, and then you put the pretty boys right on top. You lead with the pretty, you know what I mean? Oh, aggressively throw a beet on the other side of the plate, that's fine. Okay, this is looking nice. And then you can just stack them. So these are seasoned and ready to go. So I don't want to go too high on the stack. So I'm going to pull this out. And now I'm going to make a quick little dressing and dress that layer and then top it with the rest of the beets that we sliced. The dressing will consist of copious amounts of dill and copious amounts of uber fresh, delicious parsley. Rough chopped to perfection. Like I'm talking, this, we want this to be chimichurri-like. You know what I mean? Dill, parsley, beets. I mean, it's fucking really good, man. I'm not lying to you. Okay, that's good. So we're just gonna take all that. Literally all that. Not lying, that's a lot. But trust, a little olive oil in there. It's not good olive oil. A little vinegar. We need some acid. I have this nice Banulus wine vinegar. Just a little bit. Pinch of salt. Salt that. Quick stir. That's it. So we want a layer of this in here. Dill does not get enough love, dude. A little layer of this in here. Make it pop, you know what I mean? And now, we're gonna go in with a layer of this feta cheese that I got here. You can use blue cheese. You could use really any kind of cheese. And now, I'm just gonna do the same thing just with these last couple boys I got that are sitting around. Nice couple slices. Make a nice little tower. Perfect. Beautiful. A little bit more feta. creaminess of the feta really is a big part of the show here. I could just eat a straight thing of beets, but if you're gonna serve this to people, they want the cheese. Salapa! And then you take that herby goodness, just hit it, baby. Boom. Fuck yeah. I eat that all day. And that's it. Is that a carpaccio? I don't know. Probably not. Is it a beet salad? Yeah, fucking definitely, dude. All day long, it's a beet salad. Could I sell that for $24 in Midtown Manhattan? Probably. Okay. Done. What's next?
Sorry.
Now we make the Cacio e Pepe. And then I eat. Here we go. Meatballs are going in the back. These meatballs are definitely ready. So we can drop the heat on these. Looking real nice. We can keep the top off so that sauce kind of concentrates a little bit. Pasta water is boiling for the Cacio e Pepe, okay? What do we need for Cacio e Pepe? Not dill, not parsley. We need Pecorino Romano, the good olive oil, Pecorino Romano, and that's it. That's all we need. We need a big pan. That's actually what we need. That'll work. So, the key. We want to cook this pasta for about a minute under. We want al dente. So what's it say? Probably 8 minutes on here. 11 to 13 and drain. 11 for al dente. I'll give you 11. We'll give it 11. Meatballs look good. Just turn off the oven. I mean, you want to see these soldiers? Look at this. Look at those hitters. Look at them bad boys. Nice. I got nowhere to put these, so I'm just going to put them in the oven. Top rack, turn the oven off. Keep it open a little bit. They can hang out there. A little bit extra cooking ain't going to hurt them. We said 11 minutes on the pasta, okay? Hard rolling boil. We already salted our water. It's ready to go. Let's get that bowl boiling hard. And then we need, very important step for the Cacio e Pepe, we need tongs. Okay? We got a half-pound pasta here. It's going right in. And we start the clock. 11 minutes. And then we'll be eating in about 15. Okay, so the pasta goes in to an al dente. I use less water when I boil the pasta. Why? I like my water to be extra starchy because we're going to use that starch water as a part of the sauce. I've also never made Cacio e Pepe before, so don't trust me. You're going to use just good olive oil in the pan. The pan's a little hot. And then put the good olive oil in. Usually you're not supposed to use the good olive oil. We're doing it. Ride the heat though. You don't want to burn olive oil. We're not burning shit. I can see that it's hot. It's okay. Just pull it off. It's warm still. We need aggressive amounts of pepper now. The pepper, if you recall our last episode where we were cooking Indian food, we're going to bloom the pepper in the oil. Okay? What does that mean? The oil's hot. So when we add the dried pepper to it, it's going to pull out all the oils and really bring it to life. I want about, I think, like a tablespoon. So I'm just going to grind it here and then bring it over. So I can eyeball it a little bit better. Is that a tablespoon? Do I have a tablespoon? Even like, oh, look, I got a tablespoon. Let's see if that's actually a tablespoon. See how good I am. Most recipes call for a tablespoon and a half. I want to be, like I said, I've never made this, so I want to be kind of accurate. I mean, it's got chili pepper for Christ's sake. It's a lot of pepper. That's what we want. Oh, it's good. So you throw this in the oil, okay? Clutch. That's it. You just let this sit. You bloom. It's gonna reek of pepper. It's gonna be beautiful. It's gonna smell amazing. Okay? I smell it already. It's amazing. So lower the heat. Don't even like. I just killed the heat. The oil's too hot. Just kill the heat. that's the basis of the cacio e pepe. So once this pasta starts to get cooked, we're gonna pull it out al dente. We're gonna go straight into the pan with it with the olive oil, swirl it around, and add a little bit more pasta water as needed just to make the sauce proper. And then once that's done, hit it with all the pecorino romano, like all the locatelli, all of it, like a cup. I think like most, like again, I wrote down a couple of ratios people use. You use enough to make it nice, is the bottom line. The olive oil we use, we can finish this off with a little bit of olive oil here, the nice, the good. Nice. We're getting there, guys. I'm starving. I'm waiting to eat. I mean, I've been waiting to eat. It's your fault. All of your faults. 8 minutes on the pasta. Once this pasta's done, I'm leaving and I'm eating. I have no time to sit here and mukbang with you guys. I'm sorry. There'll be no mukbanging. Pasta's cooking. The garlic is beautifully bloomed. It smells fantastic. It smells like a whole different spice. I'm gonna put this on low. Again, you don't want it to sizzle. You're not trying to cook it. You want to extract a garlic flavor that you haven't had before. And then we're gonna finish it with even more garlic at the end. Not garlic, pepper. I keep saying garlic, I love garlic. Hey! What's up, buddy? Again, if this starts to boil or anything, pull back. We don't want to burn it. You don't want to burn the garlic. And you don't want to overcook all the goodness that's in the olive oil. These meatballs look really nice in here. Like, I would put a little chili flake in here, but I don't even want to, I want to be very traditional right now. I want to stick the course. I want to do what Nona would do. Getting there, baby. We're getting there. Same as grab ass. What's that? Fuck nuts? Fuck nuts is decisively different than grab ass. Stir your pasta. Make sure it's cooking. Oh, dance move. Ah, vino. Pasta's going at 6 on the pasta. I smell the pepper again. Careful. That's beautiful. Wow, that smells so good. Again, bloom the pepper. That's the key to the cacio e pepe. Some recipes, hey buddy, some recipes have you putting butter. I think traditional Italians would say don't do that. For this recipe, for the base recipe that I'm trying, we're not doing that. You could. I think butter would probably be pretty delicious in there, really, but for the sake of what we're doing, not today. Finishing it with butter, though, probably sounds like the right move. But this olive oil I'm using is out of this world. I know it's super delicious, so we're just going to stick with that. It's going to bring the depth that I'm looking for, I feel. If it doesn't, we got a little fun. Look at this fucking cake. I have no room here. This is absolutely terrible. Next time, a little bit more thinking will go into this. Locatelli, the oil we'll finish with. The random thing of milk I don't know what we're going to do with. I bought some extra pecorinos. I don't think we need it. Real nice. Let's get a little dish. Put a meatball. Meatball dish. This is gonna be real nice. We're getting there, everybody. We're getting there. Butter finish is always a move. I kind of agree, but I'm gonna stick with. I never cook with the really good olive oil, so I'm gonna stick with just that and see how it is. But I agree. I mean, a pat of butter in there is probably the move. But for this experiment, that will not be what we're doing. But I agree. That obviously is the move more often than not. These poached meatballs are looking fantastic. I have a little basil over here I'll rough chop or pick at and just throw on top of that. That'll be delicious. The pecorino's gonna go in there. We'll do the little Parmigiano on top of the meatballs. We got a spoon for that. Oh, you know what I'm gonna do at the end of this? That's gonna be too much work. I'm not gonna do it. Moving the cameras and shit is too much. 3 minutes on the past. And then about a minute or two in the Earl. And we're just gonna scoop it right in because we want that pasta water to be in there. You know, you could take it out and drain it and then reserve a cup and add it as you will. I'm just gonna scoop it in. I'm gonna see how it gets in there, and then we're gonna take it from there. Let's try this. That oil's so peppery and delicious. Oh my word, that's good. I just tasted a pinch of the oil and I'm very excited, so pack it up, boss. That's gonna be too small. We're gonna need a bigger bite. Maybe this guy? Yeah, that looks perfect. I'm very excited for pasta. I've been trying to be good on the carbs all week so I can eat the pasta. And the time has come to eat the pasta. If you're super Italian, you eat your pasta right out of the fucking saute pan. Literally, they'll bring it to you in Italy in a saute pan. You just eat it there. They do that. Don't let them fool you. They're savages. Pasta's coming along nicely. The meatballs are looking poached and delicious. The sauce is looking beautiful. I wish I had a loaf of bread to dip in it, but I don't. And there's a loaf of bread in the meatballs already, so we're good on that. We're doing great work here, guys. We're doing great work here tonight. Thanks to viewers like you. Viewers like you. I don't know. Just don't burn your fucking pepper. It's the only thing I'm really worried about. Out of everything I made tonight, the only thing I'm worried about is burning this pepper. As long as that doesn't happen, we're good. So as soon as we start adding that dripping wet pasta to the oil, it's gonna get sizzly as fuck. But it's also gonna cool down the pan a little bit. At least it's gonna stop the burning of the oil, of the pepper, because we're adding water. Probably not gonna cool it down much. It might actually heat it up more. But it will stop the burning if it is burning. But it is heating now, and it's looking very nice. It's still smelling really good. Can we see what it looks like there? Look at that. Just a bunch of fucking pepper in some beautiful olive oil. And don't let fucking Rachel Ray tell you otherwise. For this recipe, use the good olive oil. Heat it up. You're gonna know the difference. Don't use the shit. This is all about olive oil and pasta and beautiful pepper and fucking beautiful pecorino romano cheese. That's it. We don't have time to futz with your fucking Crisco in here, okay? That's not what we're doing. So use the good shit. Damn, I'm hungry. Let's go. Come on. Bring it. Thank you, babe. All right, so now we're going to take, like, as promised, the pasta right from the pasta water into here. Okay, and then we're going to crank it up and we're going to cook it. We're going to finish it in the pan. So it's going to get sizzly in here. And it's okay to get the water in. You want the water in there. We might have to add more water. You know what I mean? More water may be happening. Grab this in here. All of it. Don't forget a goddamn strand. Don't leave a man behind. Don't you dare leave a spaghetti noodle behind. You clean that plate. Clean that plate. There it is. That's all. Real nice. Okay? So now we're going to apply some heat on here. And it's going to start to sizzle. This is where the magic happens, baby. So this pasta is now cooking in the oil with the pepper and the pasta water. I'm gonna give this another little hit of pasta water because it needs it. I don't know if a spoon or I need a spoon. Okay. Use this. Just need some pasta water in there. Because the pasta water is what's going to make the sauce. And it's going to continue to cook the pasta. Whoa! It's going to continue to cook the pasta here, okay? The pasta's cooking right now in the oil and in the water. And they say oil and water doesn't mix. But when it's Cacio e Pepe time, it mixes. So you just want to keep this going on heat for a minute or two. Oh, that pepper smells amazing! Alright, you want this to go for a minute or two till that water goes away. And then we're back to just the oil. Or just a little bit of the water. And keep it moving. You don't want it to overcook in one spot. You don't want it to burn. Test your noodles, see where it's at. It's hot. This we know. Needs another minute. Maybe a little bit more water. The pepper is there, big, big way. When you add that pecorino, it's going to round it out. I can't wait for this. I cannot wait. I've been talking Cacio e Pepe for months and I just never make it. This needs another minute. Keep that pasta in there. Keep that pasta in there. Another scoop of water. Okay. That's good. While that finishes there, let's plate up these balls.
People would like to know the name of the olive oil.
The olive oil that I'm using is Frankie's 457 olive oil. It's from a place called Frankie's 457 in Brooklyn. I saw it in Whole Foods, and I never had it before. Usually I get the California olive oil, which is very delicious. That's what would be my go-to. But they had this one day, and I needed some really good olive oil because I was dipping some really good bread. And I said, let's chill some money. Let's spend some money on the good olive oil. How good could this be? And that guy was like maybe 20 bucks for this container of olive oil. 18 bucks for this. But I could just drink this. I could literally just drink that shit. It's so good. I'm not even hyping that brand. I don't know where they get it. That's a restaurant. They just put their name on it, so I was kind of skeptical. But man, it's that good. All right, I'm gonna say this pasta's good. It's probably just perfect al dente. You can see that the water's gone, right? We have a nice little oil gooze in there. We're gonna kill the heat, and now is when the beauty of the Cacio e Pepe starts. Kill the heat. Never add the cheese when the heat's on, okay? Oh, look at that. Oh, the pecorino. Take that big piece out. Oh, the pecorino. Oh, all the pecorino. Okay? Pecorino's in. Now, you swirl it with what's in there, and that makes the sauce. This is your Cacio e Pepe, baby. And if it needs a little bit more pinch of water, you give it the pinch of water. If you keep moving it, again, the heat's off. We're just mixing now. You just keep moving it off heat with that oil and that water in there. And you'll see that it just all dissolves. It doesn't get chunky. It looks like it wants to chunk up on you, but it won't. Stick with it. Move it. Fuck yes, baby. Look at this. Look at that. Holy shit. Shit, that looks good. Okay, let's get this Parmesan on the meatballs. Boom. Parmigiano on the meatball. Let's rip up a couple basil leaves right on there. Boom. Done. Take your Cacio e Pepe. Look at that nice thick sauce. Do you see that? It makes like its own. This is like the OG Alfredo sauce. This is what's up. Okay, take that. Get your plate. Plate it up real nice. Hit it with the high rise of the pepper so it hits the plate. Boom. Done. Look at that. Run it down from the top. Torta de mele. Roman apple cake. Cooked to questionable perfection. Beet carpaccio / salad. Fantastic. Who's better than you? Beef meatballs. Made on the show. In-house. In pomodoro sauce. And the star of the show. Come on, give it up. The Cacio e Pepe. That's it. I need to eat. Thank you for joining. I appreciate all of you for joining for the... How long was this? For the almost 3 hours that we did. 2 hours, 48 minutes telecast. Thank you so much. Pasta dick flex, very hard, I agree. I'm gonna sit and feast on this with some red wine and deliciousness. Thank you for joining. Make sure to follow on Twitch. Make sure to subscribe on YouTube. Follow on Hack Chef Instagram, and you'll see what happens with the Ricotta Gnudis later in the week. I love all of you. Most of you, maybe, not all. I hope you're doing well. Stay safe. Wash your hands. Thank you so much for joining. See you.